Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought, number 1460. Today is the sixth candle of Hanukkah, and I'm just putting it in there. Ellen Fein is pretty active as a Jewish person on social media, and Sherrie Schneider probably doesn't come up short with that sort of thing as well. And let's see. Today we are in week 10, course 4, effective commitment and communication, self-examination, and second chances. Now we have also read the Rules Weekly Pep Talk and day 260 self-examination. Now, we want to go into day 261. Don't publicly badmouth your ex. It's funny because my live show is 1460 and we're going into, anyway. So, hell hath no fury like the wrath of a woman scorned means that no one is angrier than a woman who has been rejected or cheated on. You're so angry that you may feel like bad-mouthing your ex on social media. One client told us that when her boyfriend ended their relationship on her birthday, she wanted to post on Instagram, "Birthday breakup!" exclamation point. Really? Question mark. She also wanted to quote Maya Angelou, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." We told her no, this because this would come across as hurt and like a victim. The most effective way to get even is not to throw a pity party, but an actual party and post that. Day 262. Don't become obsessed. Before you were obsessed with your ex-boyfriend, you were the most unselfish person. Now you're forgetting your friend's birthday and being self-absorbed. Your mother and friends and coworkers can't listen anymore. They let your calls go into voicemail. You have psychics, therapists, dating coaches, and healers on speed dial to go over the relationship just in case you missed something. They have already helped you stalk him, follow him on social media, and find out if he has a new girlfriend and what gym he belongs to. They have nothing left to give and feel used. Let him go, then go back to being a good friend. Now we're also going to read through some of this. Day 263 on bad karma. Don't waste your time plotting revenge. Most women are understandably angry after a breakup and want to hurt their ex or make him regret his decision. We remind them that they should not want what they can't have and love only those who love them. We tell them that wishing their ex ill is unkind karma and a bad use of their time and energy. We suggest they work on forgiveness and releasing any bitterness, as it will only boomerang. If you really want to hurt your ex, meet and marry someone else. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of these because the scorn, I have to say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. That is like what you're hearing right now, a cat's hiss. Hell hath no fury. When a woman is scorned, there is nothing that makes her angrier. It's not the same as when the person passes on. It's really hurt. And I have gone through that, and I will describe some of it so you know that authors do understand this. I felt so hurt one time that a guy asked a girl to watch TV with him that, what did I do? I made up an excuse. And I think I brought a bag of walnuts there or a I think I brought it in a little hard plastic container, and they didn't want it. And I think they took it, but then he called again on second day and invited her to something again. And so I was actually there ready to give them this thing. And then I said, this is so wrong. And I smashed it against the concrete in the parking lot. So that's how angry you would get. And the authors do understand this. So even so, don't publicly don't publicly badmouth your ex. Now, don't become obsessed. When you have psychics, therapists, dating coaches, and healers on speed dial to go over the relationship just in case you missed something. You always miss something. Life is like that. We always miss something and we don't care. We move forward. We don't go back. That's the important part. The authors are trying to get this across to you too. Don't do that. You may have all these people on speed dial, but it costs you actually to call them and spend your money and time on that, and they will even feel the same way as your friends and your relatives do about what you're saying, but they're thinking of the dollars. I'm getting $1 a minute, I'm getting $2 a minute of listening to this, I'm getting $3 a minute of listening to this, I'm getting $6 a minute to listen to this, and that kind of thing. So they're sitting there and go, okay, if it's $6 a minute to listen to this, then it's 60 minutes, so it's 10 cents per minute. Oh dear. Okay, so 10 cents per minute. Okay, 10 cents per 5 seconds, that is. 10 cents per second, I think that is. Wait, 60 seconds. Yes, so $6 would be 10 cents per minute of listening to this. So every minute you're going, okay, that's half of 10 cents. That's a nickel. That's a nickel. Okay, 30 more seconds. That's another nickel. 30 more seconds. That's another nickel. So that's what's going on. You're really not helping anybody but yourself ruminate over things like that. So that's no good. Rumination is no good. I mean, it can give you an answer, but what are you after? Are you after a real happy rules relationship? Or are you after the old ex mistake relationship answer? What the heck is an answer? It's a little drop of a thought in the brain. So what? Right? And then don't waste your time. Bad karma is don't waste your time plotting revenge. Most women are understandably angry after a breakup and want to hurt their ex or make them regret his decision. We remind them that they should not want what they can't have and to love only those who love them. That's the rules book that says we love only those that love us. Because isn't it true that when somebody is interested in you at a dance and you're not interested in them, say it, don't spray it kind of guy, and you go to the bathroom 6 times and he's still out there waiting for you with a smile? Dear goodness, you can't get rid of him. So that's the kind of man you want to have. Not that you have to have the one that likes you, but you have to like the one. You have to already like the one, not force yourself to like someone that you don't already like. If you're interested in the guy and he acts like that, that's what we want. That's what we want. That is what we want. So ruminating and thinking about an ex and giving him all kinds of bad thoughts in your head actually kind of creates hurt in your brain. I can say out of true experience that my brain hurt after an unsuccessful procedure, and then I was in 70 days of pain where the medicine didn't take, and every single bad word thought I had caused an electric shock to go through my body from my brain. That hurts. Words that hurt yourself are should, shouldn't, don't, some of those, but that's some of those. And you find that even the word maybe, like I say, oh, I want a glass of water, but maybe I don't. That thought will hurt your brain. This is my true own experience. Those thoughts actually cause electrical shocks to go through our bodies, which we do not ever feel when we're healthy. But when I was in that state, I could feel every single one. So I'd have to say, guess what? There was close to 1,000 every day. So I was really suffering. That was really harsh. And the word maybe is another one of those. So think straight. I can. I ought to. Ought to is safe. Ought to is safe. Ought to is safe. And then what I want to do. And I just got something really cool on social media today. I won't say it because it's somebody else's, but at the same time, it starts out with when you want to talk to someone, you are appreciating the time they make for you. Well, that's getting off the subject. The subject is here is a guy. We remind them that they should not want what they can't have, and to love only those who love them. We tell them that wishing their ex ill is unkind karma, unkind and very painful in reality, and a bad use of their time and energy. That's the energy going on. We suggest they work on forgiveness, which is a very good thing, and releasing any bitterness, as it will only boomerang, because the boomerang is really in your body. You're actually hurting your own body, surprisingly enough. And I'm saying this as a person that experienced it. Um, it's an unbelievable thing, but every time we say a swear word in our brain, we're actually sending a little electrical shock through our body from our brain. Our brains emit it, it, it work with electricity. There is electricity going on in there. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. If you really want to hurt your ex, meet and marry someone else. Now, here is a burn. Here is a real burn. I will tell you the story of a man that was somebody I ran into and came across and fell in love with at first sight. He fell in love with me too. And we were, because my background is in Chinese, we were acting in a group of people, and we were acting out of custom to be just group members. There was no dating involved. But I will say that although the difference is, I mean, he didn't ask me out, so he wasn't that interested, but he sure did act interested. And he, at that time, was I doing the rules? I sure wasn't, was I? Oh, I was doing the rules. Oh my God. I had been doing the rules. It was still happening. I I loved him with all my heart. And he let me believe that he liked me very much. And almost twice he did something that is interesting. He We were sitting in groups playing cards, and one time he let his leg paste its thigh against mine. So I didn't know what to do. And I didn't, growing up in America, I had no idea whether the custom in China would have, he was from China, and would have been to kind of smile at him. I really wanted to smile at him, or at least, kind of do a little touch with the shoulder or something. I really wanted to, but I didn't, because I thought mistakenly that I was supposed to kind of act demure and shy away from him. Well, that's wrong. That was so wrong to do. So he got the impression that I, was not interested in him. Now this is like so wrong of me because I'm here in, I'm kind of Chinese and I'm mostly American and I'm Americanized and then I don't know whether to do this or that or shit. Sorry. Check mark. And then he when we went on a ski trip, there was a guy in the group who was a married man who noticed the interactions going on between us, and he knew I was interested, and he knew the other guy was interested in me too. Now, this is the part that gets a little quirky. He had a best friend, and best buds apparently will do anything for each other, including marry their sister as a favor. Well, he secretly got engaged with someone in China, didn't tell the group, certainly didn't tell me, and still continued, it was probably totally improper of him to show more interest in me, but he kept doing it for a year or two or however many years. It was like at least, yeah, it was 2 years. So So I was in the back seat of the car. The guy that noticed us actually invited us to go skiing on a 1-day ski trip to a place called Bear Valley in California, which would have been we drive there, we ski, and then we drive home late at night. Well, he invited the two of us. So this man sat in the front seat in the passenger seat, and I sat in the back in the rear passenger seats all that time over and all that time back. And we were chatting and enjoying. And we each of us had actually been to a country called Turkey. And it was funny because when we each expressed our experience in Turkey. Good morning, John Clark. I'm telling a really nice, well, sort of interesting, informative story about getting burned when somebody got married to somebody else, more or less as a favor to his best friend who had an elder sister that was actually exactly my age, but wow. In the back seat, I was asleep on the way over uh to the Bear Valley, and we skied. And most of I skied alone at first because I was an intermediate skier, and the other two, well, anyway. So then I ski along, and then at some point I ran into the guy, and so I decided to ski together with him for a little while because he was a beginner, and I didn't want to make him feel embarrassed for being a beginner and falling down because that's a very big thing in Chinese culture. You don't laugh at someone, you never ridicule them, or at least it's just at least the more refined behavior custom is supposed to be. You never laugh at someone. So I avoided him because he was having his first experience. I don't think he brought a lesson. And then he came down and we were coming down, and the ski place, when you ski, you go into groups of lines and they say one person, two people, three people, four people for quad ski, or two people. Anyway, this one was a double. So I went into the line that said one person so that they could put me on with another one person. And then they said they needed a single person up there, and I was waiting for this guy, so I wasn't gonna be single. It was gonna be two of us. And they said, "Is there a single out there?" And then I raised my hand and said, "Not yet." Everybody there laughed because I'll explain that joke. That sounds like you're with somebody and you're about to get away. So not yet. Everybody laughed. So that person went up alone, and then they were continuing. And anyway, I was staying back. I hadn't gotten in line yet, so he comes up with me. I tell him to go up first. He goes up slowly. I'm behind him. We go up. We sit on the ski lift together. He puts his leg up pasted against mine again to show romantic interest. Now, bear in mind, I don't know this yet at that point, but he's actually already engaged to someone else. So what the heck is he doing? I don't know. And not yet. Well, it turns out, not yet. And then he pastes his leg against my, and I do it again. I'm like, oh shit, do I be, check mark, do I be demure? And I'm like, okay, so I turn my head away and I look up and I slowly pull my leg away from him. Big mistake. I think he was waiting to find out if I was interested enough that he would break it off with the other person because he was marrying the elder sister of his best friend as more or less as a favor. So honestly, I was not seeing things and I was not imagining things. He definitely was interested in me. However, we get in the car. I think that's how it happened. We get in the car. We're going back. The other guy's driving. The other guy, suddenly he groans. And I'm like, what? What's going on? I didn't hear what happened. So I was like, what? Finally, I'm like, what? Why is he groaning? He groaned in a way that was like, this trip was for nothing. And I'm like, what happened? Thinking to myself, obsessively. When he gets married to somebody else in 2 weeks from that point, I realized that was the moment that he told our driver friend, oh, I'm engaged to get married in 2 weeks to someone else. This was a bombshell he had never told the group. So talk about being a little ridiculous anyway. I think I dodged a bullet. I dodged probably a bomb. She got the guy. I have no clue. But anyway, she was really jealous of me. So that changed my life a little bit. And that was a long story. She was so upset that he liked me that she could feel it. Nobody said anything. After he got married, I was like, stay away, right? I was trying to be proper, but she felt the affection he had toward me. And boy, oh boy, she wasn't mean to me, but I could feel the hatred. And it was kind of like, that's a burn. That's what I wanted to say. So if you want to get your ex mad at you, you find and get a rules relationship and marry someone else. So even if he has that inkling of you really think he loved you, then he will feel that burn. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, old Kinderhook, the congressman that always wanted to see things to their good closure. Okay, old Kinderhook. Turn off the light, maybe. Old Kinderhook.